So we'll see the next concept. So concepts related to of and more or less. So when you see this percentages question, so throughout there will be only two types of working. So one will be given as of and the other is so much percent more or so much percent less will be given. Say the working will be like, so basic workings so one is of, so the other one is more or less. Say if suppose it is given X% of A. So whenever this of is given, it is nothing but product. So X% means to find the value, we'll divide it with 100. So to find X%, the corresponding percent of a given value, so divide this X by 100 into A. So whenever they give us X% of A, whatever the percent is given, so multiply that by 100 into the value A. Suppose if they mention X% more or less than A. So much percent more than A or the corresponding percent less than A. So here when it is off, we'll just write X by 100. So when it is more, we add it with 100, or if they give us less, we subtract it with 100 by 100 into A. The working will be like 100 plus or minus X. X is the required percentage, the percentage which they give. So for more, you add it with 100. For less, subtract it with 100 by 100 into A will be the working. So you will understand clearly. So when I give you an example. So for of concept, the example is profit. The concept of profit. Say suppose cost price of an article is 300 and the profit percent is 20%. So what is the profit value? It is 20% of 300. So how you will find 20%? So 10% is 30, 20% is 60. So the profit value is 20% of 300. The percent itself is written by 100 into the value, we get the profit value. So here it is 60. The profit is an example for the concept of. An example for more or less concept, so we can take the selling price. So this is for the of concept and selling price. The concept for more or less. So when cost price is 300 and profit percent is 20, what will be the selling price? So selling price will be profit added to the cost price, or 20% more than the cost price will be the selling price. And to find the selling price, it is 100 plus 30 plus 20 by 100 into 300. So working this out, we get the selling price. So where selling price will be got as 20% more than the cost price. Or just add the profit value to the cost price, you get the selling price. So selling price is 300 plus the profit which we got earlier 60. So 360 is the selling price. So selling price is an example, one of the example for this more or less concept. Suppose if they mention as loss percent, say instead of profit if it is loss, so we'll subtract this 20 with 100, 100 into 20 by 100 into the given value, you'll get the selling price, which gives you loss of 20%. Or subtract the 20% of 300 with the cost price, you get the selling price as 240. So when it is more, add it with 100. So when it is less, you subtract it with 100 by 100 into the given value. So based on this concept, so we'll work out a few examples. So here profit is one of the concept, one of an example for off, and for this more or less, so selling price is equal to the cost price into 100 plus or minus the corresponding percent by 100. So cost price is the initial value. So adding or subtracting the percentage according to more or less, we get the value. Suppose when comparing to two persons, so A gets 20% less, A gets 30% more. So you add or subtract with 100 and work out. So a few more examples for this more or less concept is, so when you deposit an amount in compound interest, so amount is the matured value or increased value, and principal is the initial value, 100 plus the rate percent by 100 into the number of years. So change factor will be according to the period deposited, 2 years or 3 years. Suppose you buy a vehicle and every year the value depreciates. To find the depreciating value, it is 100 minus R by 100. So when it is appreciating, A will be the increased value. So when it is depreciating, A will be the decreased value. And one more important example which they ask questions is the salary and balance question. So the balance is got by salary into whatever factor they spend minus X by 100. If suppose a person spends X% in his salary, and in the remaining if he spends Y%, and the second change factor will be 100 minus Y by 100 and so on. So if they given the remaining, so take the change factor separately, multiply with the salary, you get the balance. So whereas in selling price and this amount, we have plus or minus according to profit loss or appreciation, depreciation, we add or subtract. But for this salary questions, it is only deduction from the salary. So it is only minus here. So 100 minus the factor. So in some questions, balance will be given and salary will be asked. So send all these factors to the other side, reciprocate and multiply with the balance, the salary is got. So we'll see a few examples based on these concepts.